This is workout 1 of your strength training plan. In this workout, there are 6 exercises broken into 2 different groups, Group A and Group B. In Group A, there are 3 exercises that you're going to go through 3 times. So if I was doing part A, I would be doing exercise A1, followed by A2, followed by A3, and go right back to the beginning. A1, A2, A3, A1, A2, A3, until I've done it 3 times, totaling 3 sets for each exercise. But make sure that you follow them in a circuit as opposed to doing the one exercise 3 times in a row and then the next and then the next. It's programmed this way so that you get adequate rest as you move through that circuit. Once you're done Group A, you work on Group B and go through the same process of cycling through exercise 1, 2, and 3 and doing that 3 times. Now, this is a 4-week plan, which means over the course of the weeks, there's going to be the potential for challenging yourself with the exercises more. So let's get to the workout. Workout 1, Group A, exercise 1, is the split squat. So for this exercise, you're going to want to have a pad or a mat that you can stick under your knee. We're going to set ourselves up with our feet on 2 separate train tracks. So what I mean by this is that your feet aren't aligned on the same line. They're on either side of the line, hip width apart. So as we set up on the ground, we're going to imagine those 2 train tracks, and we're going to have 2 90-degree angles at our front leg and our back leg. Our front foot, toes are going to be pointed forward, foot glued to the ground. Our back foot, toes are curled in, ball of the foot and toes on the ground. Straighten myself forward with those hips squared off, legs on the 2 train tracks. From here, I'm going to shift forward so that my hips are ahead of my knee a bit, and my knee now is kind of over my shoelace part toward my toes. From here, our week 1 version of this exercise is going to be the hover. We're going to hold this for 15 seconds. Now, I encourage you to actually have a timer so that you're not going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and do it too fast. We want to marinate down here and really work on our stability. You're going to feel that front foot shifting and moving. Focus on keeping that foot flat. Spread your toes. Back foot, ball of your foot, glued into the ground, hips squared, staying nice and tall. Once the 15 seconds are done and you've been breathing the whole time, you're going to come down, relax, and switch. Again, squared hips, feet on 2 train tracks, curl your toes, feet flat, 90 degrees back leg and front leg, little shift forward, and hover for 15 seconds. That's week 1. The change that happens in week 2 is that you're going to hold it for 20 seconds per side. Okay? Week 3, we're going to up the challenge in a different way. We're going to include movement, but still have some holds. So in those first 2 weeks, 15 seconds on one side, 15 on the other. Move on to the next exercise. Week 2, 20 seconds on one side, 20 seconds on the other. Then you're going to move on to the next exercise. Week 3, we're starting down here again. Get the nice setup. Shift forward. We're going to come up. We're going to now move, but we're going to do some slow movements. So from here, I'm going to lower myself. Again, my hips and my knee. Go forward a little bit. 3-second lower. Pause. Don't touch the ground. 1 second. Come up 1 second. And again, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Up. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Up. 10 times per side. Again, set up on the ground. Get here, 90-90, get up nice and tall, and now you're going to shift your hips forward a little bit. 3, 2, 1, pause, up, 10 reps. Think about when you're going up and down, that you're an escalator moving down at an angle and back up at an angle instead of just an elevator going straight up and down. That's going to help us focus on that front leg. The whole time, again, we're still thinking about that stability on that front foot especially. Week number 4, we're moving, but the timing now changes. Start again on the ground as always. I'm going to keep repeating this so it's ingrained in your head. Set it up, come up. Now we're going to go down 1, hold, 1, 2, 3, up. Down 1, hold, 1, 2, 3, up. Okay? Remember as we go down, like an escalator, hold it for 3 seconds, come up, and again, back down. 10 times per side. That is exercise A1. A2, gonna be your favorite exercise, the push-up. So for this exercise, it is the much loved or maybe much hated exercise, but I'm gonna give you a lot of options. So depending where you are, maybe you have some elevation that you can use to make this a bit more manageable. Okay, push-ups do not have to be on the ground. So I'm going to give you a lot of options. All right, and you're gonna choose from these and you just choose the one that suits you best and stick with it and challenge it over the course of the 4 weeks. So option 1, maybe you've got some steps at home or even better, a sturdy bench, something elevated that you can use to put your hands on. We're gonna make sure that when our hands are up on something higher, that our hands are just a bit ahead of our shoulders, our feet are hip width apart, okay? And from this position, we're gonna pull ourselves down, keeping our body straight until our elbows are in line with our ribs, and then we're gonna push up. Now, when I lower myself, my elbows aren't glued in and they're not out. They're making the shape of an A or an arrow point. So not the shape of a T, not the shape of an I, but the shape of an A or an arrow. So in this position, I'm gonna lower myself here, down as low as my elbows are in line with my ribs, push away, breathe in, breathe out. Now for some of you that may still be pretty tough. So what you have the option to do is to just do lowers and resets. So from here, same setup, I'm gonna lower myself as far as I can get down, bring my foot in, help myself come up, and then reset, body staying straight, in, out. Now, if both of those versions are way too hard for you, stick with a push-up hold for now. Okay, I'm gonna talk about reps in a minute when it comes to the actual push-ups. So, if we're able to, we can go to the ground and do push-ups as well. Again, set up, in this case, I like to start in a bear crawl position. On the floor, our hands are gonna be right in line with our shoulders, about shoulder width apart, maybe just a touch outside, straight body. And then from here, again, I'm gonna lower until my elbows are in line with my ribs. Push away to come up. Breathe in, exhale, push into the floor. The same thing we can do here though. If that's too tough, I could do a lower, drop my knees, reset, drop my knees, and reset. Keeping that body nice and straight. Okay? Week 1, we're going to do up to 8 push-ups. If you can do 8, awesome. If that's too easy, you get a hold of me and I'll give you a harder version. Okay? But 8 solid push-ups. So push-ups look like this, whether it's on the bench or on the floor. Straight body the whole time. They don't look like this with our hips sagging or our elbows hardly bending. They don't look like the worm. I'm not going to do more than one of those. Okay? So 8 solid is the goal. If you're only doing 2 or 3, that's totally fine. Except if you're only doing 2 or 3 on the ground, then I would encourage you to find some elevation and try to get some more reps in. Week 2 is 8 reps. Week 3, the goal is 10. Week 4, the goal is 12. Not all of us will get there, and that's just fine. Again, if doing push-ups at all doesn't work for you, I want you to be on the ground if you can, or if you need to be on here, and doing a push-up hold. Just holding this position, pressing into the floor as hard as you can for 10 slow, deep, powerful breaths. And that's exercise A2 all 4 weeks. Now, we've done the split squat. We do whatever version we're doing, whatever week we're doing. We just do it once. We go to the push-ups. We do the amount of reps we're supposed to do. Now we move on to the final exercise of the A's, A3, and it's the hollow hold dead bug. This is your core exercise. Notice we're doing lower body, upper body, now we're doing core. So for this one, we're gonna lie on our back in this upside down bear crawl position. From here, what I want you to do is take a breath in, exhale, and just get your shoulders just kissing the floor, or even better, just kind of like butterfly kissing or just off of the ground, okay? We're looking straight up, we're not wrenching our neck, we're looking up, and from here, we're gonna alternate opposite arm and leg going out, coming in, out, coming in. We're doing it very slow, so I'm gonna keep this tension, I'm gonna breathe in, exhale, breathe in as I come in, exhale, other side. This is a very difficult exercise, especially with our shoulders coming off of the ground. If the shoulders off of the ground is far too hard and the coordinating is a bit tough, you can just start here with your shoulders on the ground, but I still want you to set that core. So take that breath in, get nice and tight, and imagine somebody's about to step on your belly and do the same thing, okay? But when we're up here, just what I want you to know is you don't have to reach all the way out if that's too hard, because what we're trying to do is not let anything change here. What I don't want to see is that we're reaching out and then our shoulders touch and our back arches, nothing. We keep this position. So if we can only get this far and then we start to lose it, just go that far, come in, other side, just a little bit, come in, a little bit, come in. You are going to feel that. Week 1 and 2, you're doing 10 reps in total, alternating. Weeks 3 and 4, you're doing 12 reps in total, alternating, okay? So it's 5 per side in the end on the first 2 weeks and 6 per side on the next 2 weeks, but we're always gonna make sure to alternate with that one. So, reminder, you're gonna do split squat, push-up, hollow hold dead bug. You're gonna repeat that, and then you're going to repeat it again for 3 total sets. And then we move on to part B, exercise 1, and it's gonna be our step back deadlift. So for this one, we're gonna have our feet hip width apart, soft knees, and the very important thing with all of these exercises is that we keep a proud posture. So even for the split squat, we're gonna make sure that we don't hunch, we keep a proud posture. And one way we can do that is taking a deep breath in, bracing our core, getting that nice and tight, shoulders up and back, and holding this proud posture, okay? So with the deadlift, we're gonna have that posture, our feet are hip width. We're gonna take another breath, exhale, and relax our knees. From here, I'm going to step back with my right leg and push my hips back as my head goes forward and come up. So I'm gonna reach my head as far forward as I can as I push my hips and reach my leg as far back as I can, making a long line. Now what you should be feeling is all the weight in this front leg. A good stretch through this glute, this butt cheek, and the hamstring of the leg that's supporting you. Push into the ground and stand tall. And then repeat, head and hips going opposite directions. Now, a way to check if you're doing this correctly, one thing to do is to make sure that you see if you can get this foot to float for a moment. You'll know you're doing a lunge, which is what we don't want, if when you try to lift your foot, you fall. Okay, we're not lunging. Soft bend in our knee. That soft bend stays, and now my head and my hips go opposite directions as I step, push into the ground, and up. It's a tricky one. Step back deadlift, 10 per side, okay? Week 1, 10, week 2, 10. Week 3, we're gonna try, if we can, to challenge it a bit more. Same setup, posture, soft knees, head and hips reaching opposite directions. So we're gonna step, but now you're gonna lift that foot off the ground, get deeper into this position, push into the ground, and stand tall. Okay, watch it again. Soft knees, head and hips, opposite directions as I step. Lift the foot off the ground, balance, get that good stretch. Now push your supporting leg into the ground, squeeze your glutes, and stand up tall. It's pretty tough, so take your time. You're doing 10 per side. On week 4, if we feel like we've mastered this step and lift version, we could go for a full single leg deadlift that looks like this. Same setup, posture, soft knees, but instead of stepping back, the foot is gonna come off the ground and stay off the ground the entire time. We're gonna reach, opposite arm and leg to help with the balance, pause, straighten that back leg, push into the ground, stand up tall. Reach, up. If you're wobbling, if you're hunching, go back to one of the previous versions, okay? And you're gonna do 10 per side. Exercise B2. We're gonna get to an upper body exercise and we're gonna do a T-Flye. So for this one, get into an athletic ready position, hips back and higher than a regular athletic position. Arms hanging, thumbs turned out. From here, proud chest. And what we're gonna do is try to keep our chest just a bit above parallel, I guess, to the ground. We're gonna bring our thumbs out and we're gonna fly our arms out and squeeze our shoulder blades together. 1, 2, 3, down. Squeeze, 1, 2, 3, and down. Keep that chin down, relax the neck. 1, 2, 3, down. You are going to do 10 of those. Big squeeze, down. Week 1 and 2 are going to be the same thing. Week 3, we're going to add another letter. We did the T, we're going to add a W. So for the T, we look like this, and then we're going to flex our arms for the W. And what I want you to think about doing is opening up your chest and pulling your thumbs back as far as you can as you do it. We're going to get those rotator cuff muscles working a little bit. So it'll look like this. Get into that position, thumbs out. T, 1, 2, 3, down, flex the arms. Try to pull those thumbs back. W, 1, 2, 3, down. And again, T for 3, flex, W for 3. And you're going to do that for 10 reps in total. Okay, week 3. Week 4, 10 reps as well. Exercise number 3 of part B is our last exercise of the whole workout, and it's going to be our side plank variation. So for this one, I like to be nice to my elbows. I'm going to have a pad to put under my forearm and my elbow. So whenever we're doing a side plank, we're going to make sure that our forearm is nice and straight and our elbow is lined up under our shoulders. So side plank options, okay? Whatever we do, we're going to make sure that we're straight from our knees through our hips to our shoulders. Level 1, both knees are bent. Squeezing your glutes nice and tight up front like somebody's going to give you a little kick in the belly. Level 2, leg out, the top leg out. Level 3, split your legs apart. Level 4, stack your legs. Okay? And that's going to be a good enough challenge. We want to make sure our hips aren't dropping. So we're squeezing our glutes, hips up and forward, and holding this. I like to clench this fist and pull the arm down to really tighten everything up. 10 deep breaths. Lower, 10 deep breaths on the other side. Okay? Weeks 1 and 2 are 10 deep breaths. Weeks 3 and 4 are 12 deep breaths. If 10 deep breaths becomes too easy, all you're going to do is go to one of the harder variations of the side plank. The big thing is, keep in mind, we're not just hanging out here. We're squeezing our glutes, tight core, and even more to make the challenge greater, you can think about pulling this forearm, this elbow in towards your ribs as you hold that position. And that's going to rock. So for part B, you're going to do that step back deadlift, whatever variation you're doing, the T-Flies, the side planks, back up, step back deadlift, T-Fly, side plank, back up one more time for 3 total sets. So this is workout 1 of your strength training plan.